Hey you, so on this video, if you could start again, what would you change? I'm referring to stacking in general. So if you could start from the very beginning of when you first started stacking, what would you change? So I'm going to be giving a few changes, but a few of the most important ones that I would change. I've done a video similar to this in the past, so I'm not going to touch upon too many of the same things, but it's interesting really because it'd be fantastic to hear from other individuals what they would change if they could start again from when they first started stacking. I know one of the number one things out there would be a lot of people wouldn't get into silver. As I display some of the coins I've got in the background here, I've got a few sets that I dug out, so I'm going to be just going through and spotting over those. And as I mentioned, I know a lot of people are going to be saying that they never got into silver, so it'll be interesting just to find out if you could start stacking again, what would you change? And I'll just give I'd say three of the top ones that I would change, and maybe somebody just getting into stacking can definitely learn off of those, or if you're involved in stacking, maybe you can adjust your stacking strategy to the way that I have. So I'll jump straight into these as I display these coins that I've got here. So the number one thing that I would change if I just started stacking, or if I knew when I first started stacking, would be that I would collect gold and silver equally. So saying that when I first got into stacking, I aggressively picked up silver over gold. Now, I had my reasons for that. I knew about gold for a long time. The first piece of precious metal I ever picked up was gold, and then that got lost, and then I went back in, came back in, then just got a small bit of gold and went heavily on silver. I had my reasons for doing that at the time, half and half really. Of course, the big one is that the price correction, then you come across the pundits screaming it'll be £200, $1,000 tomorrow. A combination. I didn't really succumb to any of them, but it played a big role in why I went more heavy on silver than on gold. So looking at it now, I would definitely say both have their benefits. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to be one that's going to be screaming, I wish I never picked up gold, because it's been, silver, because it's been extremely beneficial to my stack and my stacking strategy in general, especially the collector coins. But I would say I wish I would have taken advantage of gold and picked them both up equally. I've said this before in other videos when individuals, this is the 2004 proof set of the kookaburras, so we'll take a look at this as I'm going on. I've said before, I see the benefits in both. I don't shun one and like the other. So I've mentioned individuals asked me in the past what they would do if they had a set amount of pounds or dollars, and I've said, look, if you can, go for one of each every month, because both definitely do have their benefits. Right now, if I was stacking pure weight, yeah, I would feel a little drawn down. But if my game plan was to preserve wealth and gold at ultra long term, and not need to worry about looking at my stack should I need to liquidate, I would have no worries. I'd have no threats. You know, if you're an individual that may have to look at tucking into your stack should life throw you a curveball, then you know one is better than the other. But for those that have been able to, look at this behemoth of coins. It's one of the only kilo coins I kept, as I shipped a lot out. I believe it's 2004. Very hard coin to find in BU in the kilo size. So it's a stunning piece. See if I can get the capsule off. No, so I would definitely stack both equally, so 50-50. So when I picked up silver, if I had 1,000 ounces, I would love to get the same amount dollar pound wise in gold. But you know, I didn't do that. I went very heavy silver. It has played in my favor in the long run, but if I was to start again, and should I be giving this advice to anybody, I would say definitely stack both. You know, you're going to find individuals, and a lot of individuals go by the rule of when the ratio changes, you'll be able to stack up on more gold, so stack silver. But you know, if you're involved in this game, you're going to know one thing, and that's that it's the metals are manipulated. So you can't acknowledge that and ignore the other. So with that in mind, will we ever see a fair ratio? You know, if it's manipulated, how long will we be waiting for that fair ratio and the correction in price? I do believe we will see it, but I believe the time that comes, it could be a very long time. You know, anybody that could have given you an answer would tell you we should have saw a big crash 5 years ago, you know, just after the 2008. They couldn't tell you as to why we're still going on. Yes, they can't keep it up, but how long can they keep it going for, you know? So with that in mind, it's easy enough to say, well, stack silver, stack silver, stack silver. And when the ratio changes, convert into gold, but not many of us, including myself, have got the funds where we can just put it in and wait it out for the ultra long term. I've had to tuck into my stack at times to maybe reinvest back into metals, but there's been other times where I've had to sell, you know, and it's good when you've got gold on case then, and you get a spot increase in silver from the price you purchased. That's also a great thing. So that's the kilo coin there. Here's the 10 ounce. It was doing a themed coins at the time, so on this one they done a theme of time, so they've got many objects representing time in the background there. I did do a standalone video on this when I picked it up, so that's definitely one thing that I'll definitely change, and that would be picking up gold and silver in equal amounts. So the second big thing that I would say I would change is that if I could start again would be that I would have looked at other metals, other precious metals. When I say that, we have ones that have done fantastic that I've been paying attention to as of recent has been platinum, rhodium and palladium. Now when I got into metals, those metals wasn't even on my radar. I had no interest in them whatsoever. I've seen gains in them now, and individuals that were smart enough to lock onto them. Shout out to Silver New Jack, who said he'd done an awesome trade when he got into these metals early. For some bizarre reason, I was just interested in the top two, and that would have been gold and silver, and that's what I focused on. When I stopped going so heavily into silver and thought, hey, I better start getting my gold reserves up, that's what I done. I looked into gold, whereas I should have looked into a few of the other metals. There's been collector coins, and that's where I've been mainly focusing. If there was a collector coin that came out in one of those other metals, it may have been something I looked at, but I looked at it more from a collector aspect. So whether I couldn't care less what the metal was, it would have been more, can I flip this or sell this for more money later down the road? Whereas certain individuals definitely gained from picking up just off a spot price one of those other metals. And it's definitely something, I mean, copper to this day, I don't think I'd personally get involved in just because. But when I'm looking at the other ones, I've definitely seen massive gains to be made, lost out on, and opportunities. So if I could get back into it now, saying that, I wouldn't go in as I've gone in with silver and gold. What I would do there, and just me just being cautious, is I would look more so, it was doing it percentage wise, I would do easily 40% gold, 40% silver, and then do 20% the other metals. And that'd be, if I was putting funds towards it, I would look at it more on that scale and aspect instead of just really going large and heavy. Why? Because every deal I've ever dealt with, although they take them, it would be purely off the weight purposes. So if you had a platinum Pamp Suisse 1 ounce bar, or platinum, it would take a metal, you know, palladium bar, the dealer would take them. You know, whether times are good or bad, I know I'd be able to offload that. But when a lot of the dealers I frequent, of course it's a smaller section for those metals, so I wouldn't go in way too heavy. But you know, I've heard awesome people telling awesome stories of gains that they've made in rhodium. So definitely something looking forward. And I mean, it's not very hard to read the charts when you're looking at spot price on those other metals. You can gauge it against gold and silver and see that it's either extremely down or, you know, it's high, worth sticking away from. But I've seen awesome gains that have been missed out on, so it's definitely something that I would definitely look into moving forward. And if I was putting it out there, I would have changed if I could have. If I could start again, I would definitely look at those metals there. So coming into the last one, or change that I would do if I could start stacking over again, would be one I've mentioned before, but I'll just go more in depth with it, and that would be selling my collector coins a lot sooner than when I started selling them. Now, saying that, I would say this: I've learned a lot more from stacking when it's come to selling than buying. You know, buying is the simple part, you know, and this is when many people trip up because they purchase, and for whatever reason may be at the time, come time to sell, this is why you'll find a lot of people not really liking silver a lot, because they've had a bad experience, or that what they thought they was going to get, they didn't get. So when I say I've learned a lot more in stacking, and it's changed my mind a lot sooner, I've had all types of pieces, as I mentioned before, from the 10 kilos to the 5 kilo coins. And it's when it's come to selling those coins, luckily for me, I sold at a convenient time when dealers wasn't so stuck in the mud. This is when Perth were doing half-ounce square coins, so you can get, this is the half-ounce that they've done, the square. Let's see if you can see that properly, but a decent showing. So come to selling these coins, for whichever reason, I just decided to sell. I learned a lot in that, you know, you can definitely, depending on what your end game is, increase your stack, but also there's pieces that I've put across the dealers that they've taken because they obviously thought they could sell them also. So it's finding the perfect sweet spot for you and the dealer. The dealer's only going to take your collector coin if he thinks he can sell it on for more, you know, and especially if you're wanting a trade for normal standard bullion. There's coins I've sold in the past I would not be able to sell right now. I can guarantee you that. Dealers worldwide are going through a pinch when it comes to collector coins. With your standard bullion, it is what it is. It's the coins they make the lowest premiums on. So, you know, selling standard bullion for them, they're going to make the lowest gains on them. So, you know, they look into things like the collector coins where they could make more in terms of profit, but it takes a bit more work. This is why a lot more advertising's done. They have to put in fancy little things like limited minteds and the likes of. So this is the free coin premium sovereign set. And so with that in mind, if a dealer thinks he can sell whichever collector coin you've got on, this is the double sovereign proof here, he'll gladly take it off of you. But if he can't, then, you know, you're going to be stuck in the mud. So looking at that, it's all about timing. And this is one thing I've realized. I've had pieces that I was easily able to sell on to the dealer at the time that they wouldn't really take right now. So it's, you know, and I'll put it out there, there's going to be a whole load of individuals that have some form of collector coin that when they purchased, from time of purchase to a little after, they could have sold for a fantastic profit, and they chose not to because maybe they have the mindset that, you know, if I can get X, Y, and Z for it now, just think what will be worth 5 years down the road from now. From what I've seen, that is not the case. I've done many videos on that. When the hype is right, you should always strike. And that's what I've done on a lot of my coins. And I just wish I would have done it a lot sooner because, you know, I could have definitely had a larger stack, or if you sell to make more money in the long run, you could have definitely capitalized. You may have had your chance come and gone with that piece. I mean, we're all going to gain once we see a price correction, you know, but I've thought about this before. When you get a price correction, say for instance, the silver spot was to jump to, I don't know, $50, £35 today, and you get a whole new wave of customers, clients, what's going to happen? Are they going to be running after the new Perth Mint coin, the Dragon Phoenix, that now I can price comfortably at £90, for instance, $110 by default? Or are the new wave of customers coming in because they heard the price of spot has gone up? And will they want just standard bullion spot? Believe you me, I understand. And I've said it before, not all metals are equal, and that's for sure. But I reckon on the first wave, they're just going to want to get their hands on the physical metal itself. It's always the case, you know. You either come in a collector from the offset, or you come in just investing in the metals, and then you evolve as a collector into a collector, should I say. I'm more of a rogue collector, whereas I know the qualities of a collector, but I don't choose to hold forever or even pass down to my kids. I want to get the best piece that I'll be able to sell on for a profit at a later date. So I think if spot went up tomorrow, the whole new wave of customers would be looking at the silver spot itself. So you could still be in a situation where a coin you could have capitalized and gained on when it was a good time for the dealer and you didn't choose to do so. So I look at it as another reason as to why it's always best when I pick up, if you're picking up a roll, for instance, or if you want to hold one for yourself and keep it forever, I think for any new collectors getting out there, it would be a good idea to purchase more than one of them, especially if it's a hot collector coin. If we're taking time with this video, the new hot collector coins would be the 2018 Swan, for instance. So looking at that, that may be something that individuals may want to do. You know, you may just pick up one because you like it and you love it. You have no intentions of selling it. Once again, this is not going to apply to your average standard collector, so you'll have nothing to worry about there. But just getting out those main three important things that if I could start again, I definitely would have done from the offset. I'll wrap this up with that there, but it'd be fantastic to hear what you guys could change or would change if you could start again. And, you know, anybody that can gain anything from this will then move forward and then maybe add on at a later date. So hate or love it, guys. It's going to be fantastic to know what you think of this video. Don't forget to come and follow me on the links that I've left in the description. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll catch you guys on the rebound.